this line here says that the Spirit is eternal. Okay? Can we prove beyond a shadow of a doubt, I mean, quote now, that the Spirit was with God throughout, well, in the beginning?
Yes.
How? Well, I have bright students. Right? Okay. In fact, we have established that in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So we have two parts of the. We have proven that by the statement, right, that the eternal Spirit, right, Jesus was influenced by the eternal Spirit to offer Himself as a sacrifice for our sin, right? Now, let us prove that the Holy Spirit was actually part of the whole setup by reading Genesis chapter 1, verses 1 to 3. Right? A lot of times, when we read these verses, we focus on let there be light. In fact, there's more. Right? Because if you read with me, you can see Genesis 1, verses 1 to 3 says, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters.
And God said, let it.
Let's go back. What did it say here? And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water. So the Spirit of God was right there with the Word right from the beginning. Remember I said that a lot of times we just focus on, because it's a creation story, we just focus on creation, and then the first thing that was created was, let there be light. Okay? But we missed that.
Does that mean water was already created?
Yes. Right? He created the heaven and the earth. Right? So in the beginning, He created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form at that time, so there was no form. Probably water, some land, there was nothing real here. You couldn't see it anyway, because He didn't create a light yet. Right? Very good observation. Now, I could bet now that when you go and you read scriptures, you're going to try to read a little deeper. Right? Because a lot of times I've read these verses so many times, and I never focus on the fact that the Spirit of God was moving upon the face of the water. And after that, the Spirit of God, and then it said, and God said, let there be light, and there was light. So the Spirit of God, right? The Spirit of God represented God in the actual creation. So the Spirit moved. And when the Spirit moved, what happened? We have creation and we have light. Now, if we read the different translations, for example, the King James Version says, right? And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. The American Standard Version says, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Right? And the New International Version says, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. No matter how you sliced it, diced it, it's always the Spirit of God that's moving. What happens when the Spirit of God moves? Things happen. Even today. When the Spirit of God moves, things happen. Remember in the disciples' time, right? When the Spirit of God, Christ told the disciples to wait. And they waited in the room, and the Spirit came as tongues of fire, like a rushing wind. Things were happening. And what happened then? They ran out into the street like drunken men. things were happening. Right? So, before I finish, let's recap. I know the lesson was short, but it's intentional. Right? It's just to the point. Let's just recap. We established that in the beginning was the Word and God. That's the paraphrase, right? Allow me. In the beginning was the Word and God. And the Spirit. Which part of the triune was the action? The Spirit was moving. Right? The Spirit. And so in our life today, right? When the Spirit moves, we have to get up and move to. We have to create. Right? Because the Spirit is where? In us. So if the Spirit moves your hand have to move. The Spirit move your foot have to move. Right? Okay. So, we have proven, beyond a shadow of a doubt, and well within the confines of our faith, that the Spirit was part of the whole creation, was part, right there from our beginning. There's no beginning of the Spirit. The Spirit was there in our beginning, our creation. Right? We can establish no point of beginning of the Spirit, so we know that the Spirit is eternal. Okay? So, I hope that my short lesson was instructional in proving to you the origin, well, not where it came from, but the fact that the Holy Spirit has no beginning. It's part of the triune, right? It's part of the God the Father, God the Son, and God the Spirit, right? We have the Spirit in us, so we are part of that whole process now. Our souls, our spirits, would our souls and spirit, our spirit be everlasting or would it be eternal? It would be everlasting. Now, if you cannot answer this question, I'm going to give you 0 on your test. One question in the test. One question. Is your soul, your spirit, everlasting or is it eternal?
Everlasting.
It would be everlasting. Right? It would be everlasting because it has a beginning. Your spirit, I'm talking about, not the Holy Spirit. Your spirit is now everlasting. Because as a child of God, right? When you go to heaven, will you die?
No.
No. So your spirit will keep on going on and on. So it has no end. However, it definitely had a beginning. Because God created everything, including us. Right? Even though He may have known us before we were formed in our mother's womb, we had a beginning. Our spirit would have a beginning so that our spirit will be everlasting. The Holy Spirit, however, is eternal because in the beginning it was part of God the Father, God the Son, and we saw here that God the Spirit was moving upon the face of the waters. Any questions? Have I proven my case without a shadow of a doubt?
Amen.
Yes? I'm sorry the people that came late. You missed the gist of the whole thing because it was designed to be to the point.
Amen.
The Spirit, the Holy Spirit is eternal. Any questions? Any points of discussion? Any smart comments? Any jokes?
No joke.
There's no joke. Right? So, everybody has the different verses that we covered. Right? right? Make sure you take them down, right? And review them when you go home, right? No questions? No questions? I'm posing for the No questions? Okay, Pastor, any comments?